promote active tolerance and responsible citizenship in communities experiencing different forms of conflict and violence. Women as agents of peace in the Rwenzori region have integrated conflict sensitivity and the full participation and empowerment of girls and women towards peace building. This has also been supported by the belief that social change begins with personal responsibility and is sustained when people are actively engaged in creating the shared future for their community, which belief has been one of the cornerstones in implementing the amplifying of the participation of women in peace building processes in the Rwenzori region. Just like the Rwenzori region in particular, dealing with the reasons why people fight in the first place, supporting societies to manage their differences and conflicts without resorting to violence, as well as preventing the outbreak, escalation, continuation and recurrence of violence have been contributed to this long-term and collaborative process of changing people's attitudes, behaviors, norms and institutional arrangements, among others. In a bid to achieve this, there are women who have stood against these odds and thrived amidst these storms.
Looking at our history, this region of Rwenzori is characterized by different conflicts. Actually, we are a conflict hotspot area. There are different conflicts within our region, ranging from tribal wrangles, land wrangles, natural resource conflicts, gender-based violence. If you recall previously, we were ranking second region, sub-region in early marriages in the whole of Uganda. And in our region, Kasese was taking lead and Chenjojo was following. So based on this, Rwenzori Forum for Peace and Justice, with support from UN Women under the auspices of the Women, Peace and Humanitarian Fund, we came up with a project that we started implementing the previous year, 2021, January. And we are working in partnership with another organization, Action on Women Foundation, in this project. So we came up with a project called Amplifying the Participation of Women in Peace Building Processes. And the major aim is just to bring women on board. Yes, we have the conflicts, but we don't see women come up to resolve these conflicts. We never see women come and be part of the committees that come to conciliate, that come to mediate conflicts when they occur. Right from family level, if you look at our history, and this is mainly because of the nature of our culture, women never even come up in clan meetings to resolve a conflict that has come up. So that's why we said, much as we have these conflicts, let us not leave them to only the men to be the ones to participate in resolving them. So we came up with this project so that we can bring women at the forefront of conflict resolution and peace building.
Peace building helps to resolve injustice in non-violent ways and to transform the structural conditions that generate deadly conflict.
Peace being a process driven by active understanding, dialogue and positive engagement with others, and being founded on trust and respect, women in the Rwenzori region have been able to address cultural and structural violence issues in their communities. Contexts here include intertribal, interethnic, interreligious violence, gender inequalities, exclusion of minorities like people with disabilities, post-conflict trauma, response, reconciliation, and integration within their communities.
Women have set out in particular to deal with the reasons why people fight, have supported societies and communities to manage their differences and conflicts without resorting to violence, as well as preventing the outbreak, escalation, continuation, and reoccurrence.
We started by identifying stakeholders to work with. So we decided to build our own structure, and this is the structure of community reporters. So in the 4 districts where we are operating, where there is Chenjojo district, Kabarole district, Kasese and Mundibujo, we had to train 40 community reporters, and 80% of these are women, because we recognize that the role of women in peace building is very, very important. And yes, they have not disappointed us. They are doing various work in as far as peace building is concerned. One, they mediate conflicts right from household level, community level, and then they resolve them. Secondly, we have built their confidence. Before, many of them couldn't even call for a community meeting. But today they call for these meetings, they sensitize their communities, and then they resolve the conflict at hand. Women especially the women we have involved in this project, have done a lot in as far as peace building is concerned in the region. They have actually come up even with some innovations that we never ever told them. For example, in Kasese, there is a sub-county where women decided to establish a committee of 5 of them, and whenever there is a conflict, they work together to make sure that this conflict is resolved. They also go ahead to sensitize their communities on an emerging peace building issue. For example, during the harvest season, they work with their chairpersons, LC1s, they call for community meetings, and then sensitize people on how best they can benefit from their harvest without causing gender-based violence. It should be noted that previously in their communities, whenever it was a harvest season, there would be gender-based violence. People would start disagreeing on who takes the money from the produce, on who takes the bigger share, on what to spend on. So these women came up with that initiative. They sit down people in their communities, and by the way, both men and women, and then explain to them how best they can cooperate in their homes, how they can work as partners in their homes rather than working in isolation. Then they also mediate conflicts that are upcoming, for example, land conflicts, and they work with different structures in doing this. For us, we played a role in establishing a very strong referral pathway. So we showed them other structures in the referral pathway that they can work with. So when they are faced, for example, with a land conflict, they run to the land committee, and then they get someone to work with in order to resolve that conflict. When they are faced with gender-based violence, they run to their community development officers, to their gender officers, even gender ministers from their cultural institutions, and they try to resolve the issue at hand.
Women who partake in peace processes usually focus more on reconciliation, education, transitional justice, and economic development. They speak up for the excluded groups and the need to address the underlying causes of conflict.
At least we've attended and participated, and we've had enough trainings and workshops aiming at alternative for peace building.
So I'm very grateful for that initiative and the work that we are doing there in our district and the region at large. Women in my community, especially the individual town council and the district at large, have managed to mediate conflicts within themselves, whereby when a woman gets a challenge, whether domestic violence, whether land, any other conflict, they know how to mediate it, because we've been having community dialogues, and these women have been taught and they know how to handle these conflicts and how to mediate them with the help of the community reporters. So another thing that these women are now doing in our community through the reporters and through our efforts, and the talk shows that Rwenzori Forum has been having on the UBC and Development FM, women nowadays, they know how to refer cases.
Women have excelled in peace building in the Rwenzori region due to the presence and emergence of various support structures and systems that have emerged in their communities.
We are working with Action on Women Foundation, our partner, which helps us actually to connect especially with the infrastructure at the national level. But also within our region, we have cultural institutions, and we are working with them because we recognize the fact that the role of women in peace building has not been coming out very well due to our cultures. If you notice that most of our cultures undermine women, if I use that word, and that's how they are. So we have also come up to work with these cultural institutions like Toro Kingdom, like Obusinga bwa Rwenzururu, Obudingia bwa Mamba, the Basongora, and the Banyabindi, to make sure that we bring women on board. We want to appreciate, for example, in all these kingdoms, they bring women on board. Women are even have ministerial positions in these cultural institutions. For example, here in Toro Kingdom, The first Deputy Prime Minister is a woman, and we have worked closely with her. We have also worked with the ministries of gender in these cultural institutions to make sure that we amplify the role of women in peace building.
First and foremost, government of Uganda has already set structures where we have positions which must be taken up by women. From LOC1 to district level, we have the vice chairperson at every level of leadership. This is a position that is kept for someone who is in charge of children and women. And to me, that is an opportunity for women to take up this opportunity. I can give you another example. For the District Council of Kasese, we are having 24 women representing women from their different sub-counties, including now a deputy speaker who was just elected 1 week ago. This is putting women in positions to excel. So through leadership, we have positions that are reserved for women, and the purpose is to make women excel in planning, in development aspects, and also in empowering them also to work towards bringing other women on board through their leadership positions. So that leadership position or structure of leadership makes women to excel. But also government has not stopped on that. For Kasese, I am talking as a probation officer. I am a woman. That is already a system that has put me in position to fight for the rights of the women and children and the whole community. So we have CDOs, those are the community development officers. And out of the 44 community development officers in Kasese, actually 28 of them are women. And to me, this is a system that is making women to get out of the corridors, and we can now excel as a result of being educated. So the education system is bringing us out. The political or governance system is bringing us out as a system, and also the empowerment is bringing us out. For those who did not get chance to for education, they are doing business. And when you come to Kasese, you will find out that most of the big businesses are now owned by women. We have a woman called Vera Udia. She's dealing in coffee, and she's employing more than 100 people. But most of the people she's employing are women. And this shows you that once women are empowered, then you will see peace.
With peace, I can't say. Kasese, we've been bad off in terms of conflicts, fighting each other conjos, even those ethnic groups. We couldn't even give them space. But because of number of trainings, number of workshops, number of meetings that we've undertaken, at least there's peace. We can now interact with those ethnic groups. We can now share political positions. Like I'm the chairperson of the Women's Council, my vice is a Musongora from an ethnic group. So I think at least that is a step taken. Therefore, we are saying at least we are moving a step. 2, we've come together as women. We've made a number of groups. We are making art and craft. We are saving. We have a number of groups. Like we have another group from Karusandara, women living with HIV. Where Bakonjos are there, Basongoras are there, Bachiga, Banyankora are there, to mention them. At least we've now come together as women to make sure we improve on our economic activities. We've taken leadership positions. Like recently, our speaker for the district was uplifted. He got another job. So we had to go again for elections. But I'm happy. Last time, only men had taken that position. The speaker was a male, the deputy speaker was a male, but this time around the speaker is a male and the deputy is a female. So I think that is another achievement. At least we are moving a step, and we are proud of that. More so, at least we are sharing. we are sharing these political positions, and at least we are getting a gap of disseminating the information of peace from these offices that we have. Wherever you go, I as the chairperson, I'm given a platform, then I disseminate the information of peace. Through these trainings and these positions, we've tried to push other women also to come on board so that we increase numbers. Two, we've at least talked about education of the girl child. And I, for one, I'm a beneficiary of go back to school, stay in school, and complete school. Like I've always told you members that I dropped in senior 3, but because of these trainings, I had to get morale and courage to go back to school. I went completed my senior 4, I went for a certificate diploma, and here I am. So at least we are pushing for the women to go back to school.
One of the support systems that have brought about women excelling in peace building in Rwenzori, where I fall as a peace reporter and a community reporter, you find that we do a great role that is supported by Rwenzori Forum, where the Rwenzori Forum for Peace and Justice has trained, has mentored, has empowered community reporters in conflict management, conflict reporting, case handling, and case referring. Rwenzori Forum has really supported women see that they can amplify their voice and stand against gender-based violence, stand against land-related issues, stand against post-election related conflicts, stand against natural resource issues, and as well tribal or ethnic conflicts that arise. Women have been really outstanding to see that they instill peace. But women reporters have not worked alone, as I can say. Women reporters have worked with peace actors. And I know Rwenzori Forum and Peace and Justice, they also have a peace chapter aligned that. We have worked with police. Women have worked with police. They have worked with community development officers who are stationed at sub-counties. Almost in every sub-county, they are senior and support community development officers. They have also worked with the Office of the RDC. The Office of the RDCs have played a fundamental role in mediation with the CDOs to mediate, see how can people come together, see how can peace be instilled in families, how can gender-based violence be handled at a lower level before going to court. So you find that they have played an outstanding role. And there has also been support from women councils. Women councils have also been brought on board.
Women in the Rwenzori region have faced numerous challenges, social, political, economic and cultural, in a bid to promote and engage in peace-building initiatives and processes.
To begin with, we are seeing in our region that most women, let me mention, most women are not coming on board to talk about their rights and to fight for their rights. I think that was due to the background and the environment they come from. So I would call upon cultural leaders, religious leaders, political leaders, name it, to come on board and always empower these women. Talk to them, advise them, if need be, give them some activities to do, support them financially if there is need or if it is possible, so that we see them coming.
Yes, I acknowledge we've done a lot to make sure that we involve women in the move towards achieving peace in the societies. But we still have some challenges in those. We've brought women on board, especially in leadership positions, in taking lead in identifying conflict cases and identifying the signs of conflicts, and they've really managed to engage and end those conflicts. But the mantle is still there, because we need to recruit more women so that at least we get to 90% of those women getting empowered, taking up leadership positions, identifying conflict cases. We even want to reach at a level whereby
a single woman can manage and end conflict within her home.
And as women, however much we've tried to create peace and promote peace in this Rwenzori region, there are different issues that have really affected women as far as they are trying to promote peace is concerned. One is political indifferences. As you well know that in our country, Uganda, there is that political influence whereby we have different political parties coming out to bid for political power. We have NOP, we have NRM and the rest. As RFPJ is trying to bring out these women together, we have different political parties in them. So definitely these people will try to come out with their own interests. So there is a conflict of interest among political parties and of course being spearheaded by these women. Definitely they will not be able to bring out the best as they are trying to promote peace or peaceful coexistence. Then another thing is religion, religious indifferences also. We have Muslims, we have Catholics, we have Protestants and the rest of course. We have unity. These people are trying to fight for peace. They still have their religions where they belong. Definitely they try to pick out into issues that are affecting one religion and leaving themselves. Let's say if I'm a Catholic, definitely I will not go to fight for peace in my religion, but I will look into the problem that is in the other religion. Definitely that has really created that religious indifference as we are trying to promote peace in this region. Another one is insecurity. As you well know that we have insecurity on actually our borders. Here in Bundibujo, we have insecurity that is coming out from DRC. So as Bundibujo women are trying to fight for peace, definitely insecurity is causing a lot of mayhem. Chaos is there, bullets are all over, definitely peace will not be created. So it has also affected peaceful fights, peaceful living in those areas that are bordering DRC. Then another issue is a lack of funds. Still funds are not enough and women are very many. The ratio of women in Uganda is 7:1 as compared to actually according to the statistics that are on. Of course, however much as women are being trying to promote peace, there are other women that are left out because the resources are not enough and therefore women, these people are unable to reach on the grassroots to really train these women how to fight for peace and how to collaborate with other women. So other women are left out, and of course as we are fighting to create and promote peace, we also have our counterparts, men. So if men are also not brought on board, definitely peace will not be created. And the issue of domestic violence is also causing that as affecting women in promoting peace.
For women to become more productive in their involvement towards peace-building processes in the region, women themselves and other stakeholders should thus strategize and reach out.
We have got the knowledge, but we need to be empowered physically. For example, the women who are our survivors in the community, we need to give them skills that will make them survive beyond today. We need to plan to have a green project for our survivors, like those who want to do tailoring, those who want to do salon, those who want to do driving. Let them get empowered so that they can be independently supported. They also get to support their families. 2, we need to encourage men to know their responsibilities in protecting the rights of the women.
What I can recommend to women to see that they involve themselves in the peace building is that, first of all, let them know each other. We need to know each other. As women, in the past, we used to see women going in groups, working in groups. So we are asking ourselves to begin with, what went wrong? A certain problem happens in a neighborhood and somebody just nearby doesn't know it. So to begin with, let us first know each other, love each other, work together, talk to each other, understand the needs of each other, understand the problems and worries of people living around us. Then we can be able to learn their issues and also advise them accordingly so that we come together and work together and see that whatever is affecting the other and also what is affecting you and the society just around you is solved. We can solve this by hearing and listening to each other and working together. But that one I think can help us by coming together and then working together.
Yeah, we've done so many things. Like for us in Kasese, we have a problem of floods. At least we are campaigning for tree planting. We are telling women at least in every land, they should plant at least 10 trees to at least to protect or to prevent these floods. Because when a woman is carrying luggage now and then, of course there's no peace in her home. There will not be food. For example, recently we had floods in Rukoki sub-county in Kasika village. Women, they're no longer in their homes, they're now in a camp. Of course, they are suffering, and you know the disadvantages of being in a camp. Of course, children will adopt other behaviors from other families. There will not be enough food. People will not feed as expected. People will misbehave. You know, we have different characters and different behaviors. And when we are put in the camps, of course, things will not be the same. So at least we are campaigning that each woman should at least plant more than 10 trees. Like we had this campaign of planting bamboo trees. I, for one, I mobilized women, like about 10 groups of them. They planted nursery beds. A few of them have sold their trees to WWF, and they've earned something little, and again protecting the environment. So at least we are campaigning for women to make sure they take care of the environment in order to be peaceful. We've become counselors of our own homes, because we know the importance of a woman in a home. When you are not informed, when you are not peaceful, the home will also be disorganized. So we are counselors in our own homes. We've managed to provide peace, provide food, so that our men should also feel us. Because when there's peace, when the woman is peaceful, the man will also change.